Shavua Tov, a gute Woche. I want to tell story number 104 of the Shivchei Shem Tov, the oldest compilation of Baal Shem Tov stories ever published. The title of the story is Refuas Rav Yosef Melamed, the healing of Rav Yosef the Melamed, the teacher. Says the author of the Shivchei Shem Tov, I heard this story from the Rav of our Kehillah, of our community, meaning Rav Gedali of Linitz. Once, the Baal Shem Tov was traveling on the highway, and he spent the night in a certain place. And he heard a cruise, a heavenly message, telling him that you must go back home. Rav Yosef Melamed is very weak from illness. Very likely they're talking about Rav Yosef Melamed of Zornitz, which was mentioned before in story number 74. So the Baal Shem Tov said to his helpers, his servants, that we should go back home. And the servants did not want. And they said, Your Highness, you have debts at home that you're supposed to go and cover. Why should we go back? Even though they objected, they came back. And the Baal Shem Tov arrives home Friday morning and immediately goes to the mikveh before going for daven, for the morning prayers. After the prayers, the Baal Shem Tov called a medical doctor and went with him to see the patient, Rav Yosef Melamed. And he saw that he was indeed very weak, so much so that he had lost the ability of speech. He was so weak he could no longer talk. And so the Baal Shem Tov tells the doctor to bleed the patient. It's a treatment sometimes the Baal Shem Tov mentions, is mentioned in the Talmud in a few places. Today is not much practice, but it was to a certain level in the medicine of the time, to do medical bleeding, a small cut on the patient to make bleed a little bit and to get him better through that. So the doctor said that he doesn't want to, that it's very dangerous to make the patient bleed. Thinking, I would guess, since the patient is very, very weak, if we bleed him, it will make him even weaker, right? So the Baal Shem Tov said to the doctor, how do you understand that if you do not bleed him, he will live, he will survive? In other words, not doing what I say will increase his chances to survive? So the doctor says, no, he will not survive, even if you don't bleed him. So the Baal Shem Tov said, so if you think he's not going to survive either way, why are you afraid to bleed him? If what I'm telling you is going to cause him to get worse, okay, don't do it. But if it's not going to make a difference, because you think he's not going to survive, then why are you afraid to try what I tell you? The Baal Shem Tov then ordered that the patient should be bled. They should do the therapeutical bleeding. The people of the town start talking against the Baal Shem Tov. There was this ongoing talk against the Baal Shem Tov about this practice of the bleeding. Baal Shem Tov had ordered the bleed when the doctor said that he's too weak. So the Baal Shem Tov told the doctor to leave from the back of the house through like the alleyway behind the houses, so that he won't be seen by the people, for they may be so angry that may want to beat him up. So he did. The doctor lives where he cannot be seen. And then the Baal Shem Tov also left. Doesn't say how, but he left. About half an hour later, the patient asked for water to drink. He's thirsty. Remember, he was too weak to talk. And Tehillah Lakel, praise be God, he became better. Simple story, just following the advice of the tzaddik. He's careful with what the doctor says, but at the end, the tzaddik is the one who sees deeper. I am translating all of the stories of the Shivchei Baal Shem Tov and telling them here in the channel in English and in Spanish every week. I'm translating the Hebrew text into Spanish with the hopes to publish the whole book in Spanish. I appreciate all donations, links below. Let's continue to pray for our soldiers and all those who are suffering in the current situation in the land of Israel. Shavua Tov, a good Tavoch.